I just left and ate a popsicle because my stomach was making audible hunger noises. So I had a popsicle. Back to business.
Let's meet at the library. Okay.
Hi everyone, it's Julia and welcome to my channel, Shakespeare and Such. Today we are going to talk about Booktubeathon and Biannual Bibliothon. That's right, I did both. You wouldn't know from the lack of video challenges and Instagram challenges, but the week of those two readathons, I participated and I read 5 things. Not 5 novels, because I was working a lot, but I read 5 things. If you don't know a lot about Booktubeathon or Biannual Bibliothon, I'm going to link their channels below so you can discover more about them, but essentially they are both readathons where they encourage you to read as much as possible within a week. Between the two of them, there were 14 reading challenges to complete, and I did 11 of those. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. I doubled up on quite a few, and then I had books count for both challenges, but, you know, like I said, for me that's pretty good. So let's talk about some books. I'm going to talk about these in the order of least favorite to favorite and discuss what challenges they were for along the way. Right off the bat, I will say I did not make it to the group book for Biannual Bibliothon, which was Flame in the Mist, but I do own it, so I will read it eventually. All right, books. So first up, we have my least favorite book from Booktubeathon. Okay, here we go. This is Bright Young Things by Anna Godberson. If her name sounds familiar, it's because she wrote the Lux series, which was like a very popular YA historical fiction series back in the day. I really enjoyed that series when I was younger, and I've had this book on my TBR shelf for literally like years, just years. There's a Borders sticker on the back. Years, okay? It's about flappers, if you couldn't tell. This was not good. This book was not good. So the challenges I read this book for Biannual Bibliothon, it was a throwback challenge, which was a book you've had on your shelf for over a year, and then also one of the host's favorite genres. I chose historical fiction. Obviously, I'm not about to pick urban fantasy. Have you met me? And for Booktubeathon, it was My Person on the Cover. This book just was no bueno. I gave it 2.2 stars. The initial premise was like pretty good. I was like, all right, girls, 1920s New York, whatever. But all the characters were so dumb. Just like really stupid. So stupid. Like one of them was naive, and so then I was like, okay, well she kind of gets a pass, but then she went from naive into stupid territory real fast. She also named her dog Good Egg. Good Egg. Soak that in for a bit. Yes, I don't have a full review of this on Goodreads yet, but that will be coming because why? Okay, next book. Let's move on, please. The next book coming in at 2.8 stars is Dante's Divine Comedy, Inferno, Purgatory, Paradise. And this is a graphic novel adaptation by Seymour Schwast? Not quite sure. I read this for, consulting a list here. I don't have the best memory. For Biannual Bibliothon, this completed the challenge of book I've seen somewhere other than Booktube. I read Inferno in high school, and it was so good. And then also for Booktubeathon, I read this in a day and completely outdoors. So, I mean, it's not that big. I really like the Divine Comedy. I really do, and I think that this graphic novel version might be like a nice way to introduce yourself to the story. But the problem is, because it's so short, it just like literally is none of the poetry, which is what I liked about Inferno. So that's why the rating ended up being so low. This one I do have a full review of on Goodreads, so if you want to hear more about that, It's in the links down below. But yeah, it was just an okay read. I don't regret reading it, but I'll probably donate it. Next up is a short comic series. This is The Kitchen by Ollie Masters, Ming Doyle, and Jordi Belair. This is just the one volume. I think it's like 8 issues. And I read this for the Booktubeathon challenge of character that is very different from you. This story is about 3 women in 1970s, Hell's Kitchen, and they take over the Irish mob after their husbands end up in jail. This I ended up giving 3.1 stars. It's another one that I do have a full review of on Goodreads, and it was good. I had some issues with the pacing. The writing wasn't like blow your mind amazing, and I didn't get enough of my like favorite characters, which was kind of a bummer. But I did like the ending, which might be controversial. I don't know. Read it and you can tell me what you think. But it was pretty good. It was just like a solid alrighty. Next, we make a significant jump to a rating of 4.4 stars, which I gave to Goodbye Vitamin by Rachel Khong. This I read as my hyped book for Booktubeathon, and I actually haven't heard that much about it, but it was really hyped up for Book of the Month, and I also saw a nice review for it in Literati, a bookstore I like to go to. So I gave this one a try, and I really enjoyed it. It's a really short novel. I think it's like barely 200 pages, and the font is humongo. It's like an early YA novel font, which I'm into. I really enjoyed this story. It's about a woman in her early 30s whose fiance leaves her, and she returns home for the holidays and then ends up staying for a year to help take care of her father, who is losing his memory with Alzheimer's disease. And I just found it to be a very realistic story. I don't read a lot of contemporary, but this felt very true to life, and I really liked the writing style. I don't think I've written my full review for this on Goodreads yet, but it's another one I'll get to soon. Yeah, I definitely enjoyed this one a lot. If you don't know anything about it, The Crucible is a fictionalized play about the Salem witch trials. It is sort of this allegory for McCarthyism and the Red Scare in the United States, and you can enjoy it without doing all of that interpretation, but it's a good story. Abigail Williams is crazy, but I love that girl. Yes, and like I said, the movie is iconic. Cut to a clip of Daniel Day-Lewis. Oh my god, hold on.
Because I cannot have another in my life.
I'm going to go through these in order from my least favorite to my favorite. Can you hear my stomach? I'm so sorry.